Having fun in the hobby room. Hope you join me. Please subscribe. F86 build. Coming soon. More and more videos. Welcome back to Randy's hobby room. Okay, here we go. Okay. That goes through good, remember, and this clip should go on the other side. We gotta epoxy that. We gotta epoxy this in later. For now, we'll stick tape on it and put it in. But remember, I want to get the wire on there and the control rod on here first before I do that. And the right two pieces of wood here. Remember, I gotta glue these together, and then grind out a spot so my landing gear can fit. That's medium CA glue. The thicker stuff, it gives me more time. Things don't set as fast. But that's okay, because I'm just going to put this together. Put that glue in there and let that set. Okay, so we'll let that set. Come back to this. Because I want to epoxy this piece in, right? I want to epoxy this piece in when I epoxy this in. And try and do this so I don't have to mix this epoxy as many times. Well, I got the supplied wire. That doesn't seem to go very good, does it? I think if I put it on this way. That's closer. But still no cigar. So we'll have to fix that wire a bit. See, what's happened is this little bend here isn't good enough. So I'll grab a pair of small needle nose here. I'm just going to tweak it just a little bit. Let's see now. We go back in here. Oh, maybe just a hair too much, eh? But there, see? Now, that's about just right. Because remember, we're going to put the mount on this side for this piece. You know, here's a bit of a funny. This needs a grub screw, like the other one did. That really looks good here. There's no grub screws. And I've got these metal things here. I know what they're for. They're heavy. And this, and they all need grub screws, but there's no grub screws for them. Maybe they use screws. Maybe that's what the screws are for. I'm not too sure. We'll have to see here. Anyways, remember this. And on the other one, where did I put it? Oh, I gotta take a peek. So I put it on the very outside to give me the least amount of throw. I'm in a jet, not a 3D airplane. So I have a drill, but I don't want to make this hole as big as the drill. I want this to be really tight. So I'm just going to use my X-Acto knife and shave out just a little bit from each side. And get this thing to fit. Not really tight so there's no slop or wiggle. And that's stopped by making sure that all these things fit. See there, that's it. There we go. Now, I'm going to check. Make sure that you have it on the right side. So you can't turn this around. Put the washer on. Remember remember, the way they have these, it's not really a nut, it's more like a finger nut that goes on these. Okay, so I'm going to make it finger tight so it can still move. Then I'm going to touch that. I'll use a little bit of gap filling, but I'm going to touch that with just a little bit of CA glue. Okay? So that makes sure that piece stays, that little nut stays on. Okay, you get a Loctite them on, I guess. But it's easy to access. I just CA glue the end and it stays there. I haven't had a problem with those yet. So, that's going to go there. We're going to push the servo down with that. We'll glue that on. But I got to sand out a couple pieces here for the landing gear. Where's my back landing gear? Yeah, see? Where these screws mount into this base. You just, oh man, it's just such a small amount. But I'll mark where they are and I'll hit them with a sanding drum on the Dremel real quick. There and right there. Okay. Remember, I get these things at Hobby King, these servoless retracts. They're really quite nice. They have this size, which is okay for this jet. Oh, and they have a much bigger one. You see? And it's really got a thick wire for landing gear. So that's, you know, it's good. They got the two sizes. This is one for good. The small one's good for here. This is their bigger one. And I have a P-51 Mustang. It's a 90 size P-51 Mustang with old style servo powered retracts. So I'm going to one day retrofit and put these in it instead of the retracts I have in it. They also make this one. It's the same size as this, say the 2.5 or 2.7 kilo airplane, but it rotates 90 degrees when retracting, like for a Corsair. It's really nice. But because they retract and turn, the shaft has a cotter pin at the bottom, which these don't. It's sort of a cool thing. You can turn these into steering. Put a servo horn on them, and they can become a steering one. Like my front retract. There's one of those, see? And with a servo horn here, I can make it for steering. Because the shaft doesn't have to be solid mounted in here. So you have to be careful though, because if you want to use fixed landing gear or like a non-rotating, you have to use one of these. These here, the it turns freely, so you have to use their setup to control it. But they're pretty cool. Okay, so I sanded out those little grooves for that to fit. Now, what do I need to do here before I mix some glue? So I got my retracts here ready to go. Oh, I gotta cut all that out, eh? I remember now. Yes, I have to trim that out. So let's get that done. Now how much of this needs to be trimmed? It's going to come approximately to there. Oh. That's an easy fix, isn't it? Ooh, there's some sticky tape there. There, they see. So, pieces to be trimmed off. There, that should be good. Let's see. Does that fit? Remember, I don't care if you built this once or 1,000 times. need to test fit. Always test fit. Never mix your glue and take it for granted things are going to fit. As I tell ya. You might not, then you're in trouble. Styrofoam, whoa. Sweep the floor later. There we go. So now that fits nice. That's a good thing. I'm going to set that aside because I know we have to do a lot of work to that still. Wow, isn't that interesting here? You see the other wing joints here. So that means that the tire coming down, we have to curve in that other piece there too. Trim that out. Okay, so this is still gluing. I gotta find a grub screw for that because they didn't give me one. Oh well. Have a quick peek in the magnetic bin here. I'm pretty sure, like right there. There we go, dilemma. We got a little grub screw. Okay, that's that. You know, it really is surprising how light these wings are. Geez, before I do that, let's do that. I'm gonna hang a scale here, you guys, and we're gonna weigh this stuff. No, maybe we don't have to go with the bigger scale. Maybe I can use a small scale. Let me just see, I'll set this up. Okay, I got a little scale here. So if I just set this wing on here, balance it, say, it's 109 grams. 109 grams with just the styrofoam. Okay, so now here I have the wing with all the parts. They weren't all finished, remember. With all the parts, the modifications to it. And let's see what it weighs. Whoa, bare balance point. 262 grams. 262 grams. So it's gained quite a bit. But there's still not a lot, is it? 262 grams. That's less than a pound. No, yeah. Yeah, way less than a pound. We're doing good, I think. I'm going to do some weights here. And do some accurate weighing of this airplane. But yeah, these parts start out really light. But by the time we put all the, even the wires, I think they all add weight. Remember, what do we do when we extend cables inside a wing? Yes. Encore. We want to shrink tube the joint. Yes, you do. There we go. Okay. You see, and I'm guaranteeing that that's not going to come undone for my servo. So that will go through there. Remember, we're going to cut these spots out. Okay, so I'm thinking here soon I've got to mix epoxy because I've got to put this in, I got to put that in, and I got to work on the landing gear. If you remember, the other ones were quite a pain. I got to cut this shaft off. Oh, if I can grab it. Okay, I can't grab it at the moment. There we go. So I gotta cut this shaft off and make it smaller. We'll have to arrange that by test fitting the landing gear. Oh, I don't know where it is. There it is. There's the poor landing gears. Okay, I'm going to put flat sides on it. I'm going to put it in here. We'll put it in there. We'll measure it. We'll cut it off. I think these are pretty. They're really the nicest, but they're cool looking. And sort of functioning suspension, I guess, you know. I'm sort of used to my FG trucks, and they've got like real shocks and suspension. This is kind of no oil in there, but oh well, they'll work. They'll absorb something. Let's hope I land so soft they don't even have to absorb anything.